Hi YouTube, this is the Homeschooling Perfectionist here, and I wanted to share with you guys just some tips if you have to homeschool for a while because we're still in a pandemic. Public school and homeschool is different. One point is homeschool hours are typically shorter, maybe about 3-4 hours, even less, depending on how old your child is. Whereas most of the time, if you're in school, public school, it could be like 8 hours, I don't know, 6. So you want to keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out about homeschool, because you really want to know what your child is going to do when it's over, especially if you're working from home. So keep that in mind. But I wanted to share with you just some tips to help you, because public school is a little bit different than homeschool, of course. Even though for me, I run my homeschool kind of like public school, but with my own rules. That makes any sense. So anyway, the first thing is assess your child. You want to figure out where your child is. Weaknesses, strengths, learning style. Figure out these things so that you can have a great experience for the both of you. Sometimes in school, public school, a child will be going to the second grade. And in the first grade, they were okay, but there were some things they were struggling in. And they kind of just skim over it and don't really address it. Whereas with homeschool, you're able to still maybe move them up to the second grade if they're good, but maybe you want to work on some other things that they're not quite there yet in. You also have some curriculums that focus on skill set level, not so much grade level. A great example of that would be Math UC. Math UC doesn't have like a grade level, they just have like a skill level. And you assess your child to know which one you fall under. So you want to assess your child before you even purchase anything, because you don't want anything that's too hard for them. You don't want anything that's too easy for them, because then they'll go back to school and then they might be behind maybe. You want something that's going to challenge your child, but something that's going to be fun. Next, you want to check with your school, with your state. You want to check the rules, the core standards, especially if you're thinking about putting them back into school eventually. You want to check on what are the procedures for the school. Like, do you have to take your child out? There's a process for that. If you want to have them homeschool, you got to kind of fill out some stuff to take them out, or what are you going to do? Or maybe you're just going to have them at home and they're going to be able to do online learning. Are you going to have some supplemental learning to complement that? So you really want to make sure that you check with your state and the school. Try not to tell them too much information. They don't need to know that much. Know your rights as a homeschooling parent. Know your rights. There's a site, a homeschooling site. I can't remember it. I don't have it on me. But know your rights in your state. Because some people will try to come to your home. They are not supposed to do that. So know your rights in your state. Next, you want to have a budget. Set a budget before you get anything. Well, so you want to have a list first. Kind of look around, see what your child, after you've assessed them, what they need. Math, language arts, blah, blah, blah. Look and see what's out there. Check out reviews. On YouTube, that's what I do. I try to check out reviews first to kind of see if I can get a flip through to see if I like it, and if I know they'll like it, my son will like it. And then you want to create a budget so that you're not overspending, especially if you're talking about eventually your child going back to school. You want to make sure that you don't overspend, unless you're trying to make this a commitment, and then you need like certain things that you probably don't have to keep buying. Then you want to set a schedule. It's very important to have some type of schedule, because again, homeschool might only be 2 hours. What are you going to do? Especially if you are working from home. Have something consistent so your child has a consistent schedule and they're not just all over the place. Now, if you're unschooling your child, that's different, but I kind of traditional. So you want to have something consistent, especially if they're coming from public school. You don't want them to come from public school and there's just like no structure. Map out a curriculum. and a curriculum frequency. How often are they going to do math a week? How many days of school are you going to have a week? What are the hours? If you are teaching music, what are you teaching? Are you teaching them to read music? Are you teaching them to play the piano? Kind of map it out so that you have some idea of what you want to do. And you kind of want to do that also while you're creating your list before you do the budget, because then you'll have an idea from there. I should have probably put that beforehand. And then you want to order those supplies. You want to have them. For me, the reason why I ordered them ahead of time, of course, is because I plan for the whole school year, a year in advance. I do that because I work from home and I just don't have time to create a lesson plan every week. So I have my supplies with me and all of my books with me. And then what I do is I will write out a lesson plan for each week. So all I have to do is find my lesson plan I want, figure out the pages I need to print out that week, print the pages out, put them in the folders, bam, I'm done. So you may want to do that, especially if you're working from home. It's going to be hard at first to plan like that, but I'm telling you, it is going to save you headache. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you your sanity. I would recommend doing that. I haven't planned anything. I usually would have had my stuff planned and ordered by now, but business has picked up for me and I like a lot of the stuff that I used last year. So all I'm doing is ordering the next level up. Also, if you guys saw my haul, I don't need to order any more science stuff. So I won't be ordering any science. I won't be ordering any art stuff. So a lot of stuff I don't really have to worry about, which is why I'm kind of carefree right now. And then just have fun. Like, don't try to get so caught up. Look, this is your school. But remember, this is for your child. Whatever your child wants to be when they grow up, they need to have an education to do it. So have fun, but be realistic and make sure that they're learning. And but be creative. Maybe you want to have one math day where they're baking. They're learning about measuring and they're learning about different ingredients. Have fun, but be prepared, because if you have too much fun, they may not want to go back to public school. I wish you the best. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. Bye.